Hey guys, I'm Bottles and welcome back to the Sonic Retrospective, and today we'll be talking about Sonic 4, Episode 1 and 2. So I want to give a little precursor to how I came about with Sonic 4. I've been following Sonic 4 since it was called Project Needle Mouse, and the biggest thing that I was wondering was, because they were already saying that they were going to go back to their original formula of, like, 2D Sonic game. Now, I was wondering if it was just going to be, like, a 2D Sonic game, like a true 2D Sonic game, like, with sprites. Because that concept wasn't really far-fetched, because not too long before, Mega Man 9 came out, and that was completely in an 8-bit style instead of, like, in a stylized, maybe, like, pre-rendered looking thing, or even, like something with like Mega Man 8 where it just looks super polished and super nice. Or if it was gonna be either one, like if Sonic was gonna go for a Mega Man 9 kind of thing, or for like a Mega Man X8 kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? But it ends up that they went with the Mega Man X8 kind of thing, where it's kind of like 2.5D, which I never really had a problem with. Like, I didn't really fully expect it to be a 2D Sonic game, because it's like, they wanted it to be 2D, but they also kind of wanted to keep with the same style, I guess, which I thought was pretty fine. I mean, the game looked good enough. So, strictly talking about Episode 1, I feel like Episode 1 was only functioned to bring the nostalgia back, because a lot of stages in Sonic 4 Episode 1 are reminiscent of, like, previous Sonic games. Like, you have the first stage, which is, like, Green Hill Zone, or Emerald Hill Zone, or basically any of the hill zones. Then you have the Casino Street, I think it's called, which is reminiscent of, like, Spring Yard, and Casino Park, and Casino, like, all the casino stages. Casinopolis is, I think the third one? I don't remember. Or maybe it was the second one. I don't know. But yeah, it's very reminiscent of that. And then you have the Aquatic Ruins stage, I think, where it's basically just Aquatic Ruin from Sonic 2. And then you have the Labyrinth, which is just Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1. And then you have the last stage, which is very reminiscent of kind of like both Scrap Brain Zone and Metropolis, especially Metropolis. And then you have the final boss stage, which is just Death Egg Zone again, But as the game works as like a concept, it works a lot. Like, a lot of people hate on this game because it's just so bland, which I can't really blame them, because for a Sonic game, like, years in, like, literally, like, 15 years in, they really shouldn't go for bland. They should go for something new, and Sonic 4 Episode 1 really didn't offer anything new, other than to put the homing attack in a classic Sonic game, which, it was an okay decision, but I feel like the game could have done without it. Like, especially since it's supposed to have, like, the classic feel, I feel like the homing attack shouldn't have been implemented, which is the same opinion a lot of people have whenever I see, like, reviews of this game. What else could I talk about? Yeah, just the stages are very reminiscent. It feels like it's supposed to be a throwback instead of, like, its own thing, which I feel like it should have went for, instead of just being like, hey, we acknowledge the other stages, remember this? Especially, like, it's not Sonic Generations, where that game is supposed to be an anniversary game, where this game is just supposed to be, like, a standalone episodic series. But what I do like is, just, like, how the gameplay flows. Like, everything looks very pretty, which is something that Sonic has always done very well, is just to make things look pretty. One thing I fucking hate, though, are those goddamn special stages. The Sonic 1 special stages came back, but worse. Like, I didn't even think you could do that much worse, but how could you do it worse? Instead of you controlling Sonic, you control the background. That is garbage. Especially when it comes to the later stages where you have to be fucking precise. I mean, hell, when I was, when Pete and Phil were playing, for their Let's Play, and I was watching them do the special stages, I was just watching the agony in their fucking eyes, and it reminded me of when I was trying to, complete the game, on my own when the game, like, first came out, and just getting goddamn frustrated at those special stages, because some of them are just so bullshit. Especially, like, the maze one, which I think is for the 6th Chaos Emerald, as well as the last one where you have, like, the kind of chambers, and you have to collect as many rings from each chamber as you can. You have to collect, like, 100 rings before you can even think about getting the Chaos Emerald. And there were bumpers and gold things, gold shits everywhere. Like, it was just frustrating. I mean, I know that was the point, but, like, it never felt like it was my fault that I, like, went into a goal thing and, like, lost the Chaos Emerald, you know what I'm saying? It always felt like it was, like, the game's fault, or, like, luck, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, that's enough ranting about the special stage. I do that a lot, I've noticed. Whenever I talk about these Sonic games, I notice that I kind of, like, focus on the special stages. That's because they're just, like, such a big part of the game, because it, like, determines whether or not you get the good ending or not. So that's kind of why I, like, emphasize on the special stages. But, moving on to Episode 2, I will go out and say Sonic 4 Episode 2 is probably one of the best Sonic games out there. Like, I remember playing Episode 2, it wasn't a nostalgia fest by any means, and goddamn, did it do its job. For one thing, it looks 100 times better than Sonic 4 Episode 1, and I would argue to say it's probably one of the prettiest Sonic games out there. Like, its backgrounds are amazing. It's breathtaking how beautiful this game is. Like, when they did the plane stages, just looking onto the skyline is just really beautiful. Like, I just can't get over the aesthetics of this game. It's just super cool, it's super pretty, and I just love it. But aesthetics isn't everything. The gameplay is even more solid. Sonic feels less slippery, he feels more, like, solid, you know what I'm saying? And they added Tails, which, instead of just being your useless sidekick like in Sonic 2, they gave him a function, and it created its own gameplay style, which was honestly really, really cool. Like, you have, like, these different abilities that you can do, albeit there's only, like, 3 of them, but still, like, what they did, they had some creative ideas when it came to Sonic 4 Episode 2, and I kind of wish that they would go on to make Episode 3 eventually, even though they probably don't even have the money to do it right now. I kind of wish that Sonic 4 Episode 3 became a reality, because I feel like what they had for Episode 2 was so promising that they could definitely make an Episode 3 and make it even better. Like, I believe in Sega. I believe that they can make a great Sonic game, or even great games in general. I mean, hell, look at the Bayonetta series. Bayonetta series is fucking fantastic, and I know that's mostly made by Platinum, I believe, but still, like, Sega still has to overlook that shit, especially since their name is on the first name that pops up. But, it's just, like, I just feel kind of bad, like, playing this game, it just makes me want Episode 3, and I know that Episode 3 isn't coming, you know? Like, I kind of wish that Sega didn't, like, for once, didn't listen to the fans about the Sonic 4 series, because originally they were going to make it a 5-episode series, like most episodic series do, like The Walking Dead or Back to the Future, like mostly Telltale shit. But, Sonic 4, I wish they just kind of, like, kept going, because the reason they said that they would keep going with Sonic 4 would be if the fans wanted it, which, you know, I'm not completely opposed to. It's like, yeah, listen to your fans. Like, a lot of companies don't do that, and that's why people start to hate them, kind of like Capcom. But, I feel like Sega should have kind of ignored them this time. Like,
they wanted to do 5 parts of Sonic 4, and I feel like they should have done 5 parts. Because I kind of feel like the game is incomplete, and like there's so much potential here that has just kind of been left untapped. So I guess that's all I really have to say about Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about Sonic 3D Blast. See you next time.